What's up, everybody? We are back again. Today joined with Avi Patel, founder of Cled AI, which I mean, you've been getting more and more attention as for numerous reasons. But you're going after a very interesting segment. And anybody who's worked in the world of AI understands that your data matters incredible amount. And you are trying to basically link AI developers with consumers who don't even realize that, all this information that they have, all this content they have has real value. And you're basically just bridging that gap and allowing these AI devs to meet this content library that you're building. Um,
Yeah.
I think it'd be best maybe just to start like more like on your background, who you are, how did you land on Cled, and then we can get into I guess some of the more interesting parts of what you're building.
Got it. Yeah, I'm happy to. That's a good description. Thanks for having me on. My background's pretty simple. I surprisingly wasn't in startups pretty much my entire life. I'm only 21. I started my first company like 3 years ago. It was an art company basically, and I ran just a ton of copyright problems. Like I basically like at the very start of my career ran into like the worst end of the licensing space. Basically, ran into copyright problems, ran into music licensing issues, like anything intellectual property related, I was met with the worst end of it, basically. So the first company I started was a music licensing marketplace called Nitrility. It's still running to this day. It's doing very well. And it basically lets you go on it and buy any song license in as close to one click as possible. It's a really hard cold start problem to solve. So I built that for the last 3 years. I basically had to partner with every record label, every publisher, every artist that you can think of, and convince them that this was worth building. And I got really good at building these marketplaces. And from the very start, I had this concept of like building this general IP marketplace, kind of like Amazon, but for intellectual property, where you can buy any sort of patent license, any data license, any music license, etc. So for the next like 20 years, my life's goal is basically build all these individual IP marketplace. Like patents is next, images and videos are next after that. I already have music, and then Cled is the data wing of it, right? So that is my background. And then like my early life, I was just a chess player. That's like all I did. I played a lot of chess. Yeah, I played a lot of chess and played a lot of video games. So I was like really good at Fortnite. That was like something I did for the longest time.
I know you put
like
out that Fortnite
hours.
video, and of all the things that you put out, that one went considerably like very viral.
That one went pretty viral, yeah. That one went pretty viral. I was surprised. So I haven't played in like 4 years because they banned it off the App Store, which was one of the worst days of my life when that did happen. And then it got up, and I like just picked it back up, and I was pretty good at it. Obviously, like I'm still completely washed compared to where I was, but it's not that bad, yeah.
And so, I mean, getting into now the world of Cled, you
Yeah.
understand that licensing is a nightmare. What as you're kind of like broadening the horizon for like what you guys are taking in, the other side of licensing is making sure at least what you are allowing people to broker is correct. The first thing that I was hit with when I went to your site was like, okay, how are you verifying
Yeah.
all of this information? How are you making sure there's no duplicates?
It was like such an important thing to focus on. So we put the majority of our time focus on that. We check EXIF and metadata. So let's say you're uploading onto the website. If you get a image from your friend and a friend sends you images off their phone and then you try uploading it, we'll know that 100% of the time. And we assign a score accuracy to every single image and video. And if your batch score or specific image score is really low, we're not going to pay you for it. And we're also not going to try to sell it. So we'll check not only the EXIF and metadata to make sure that image is actually yours and not off the internet or not from some friend's device, but we also check for plagiarism. So we'll cross-check with AI images, so we'll know if it's synthetic data or not, or like raw data. We want the raw data, and we'll also check if it's like off the internet. So like if it's something that's like publicly available, we'll know 100% of the time. And the same thing applies for text. Like for text, we'll check synthetic data, we'll check plagiarism, et cetera, et cetera. So original content is rewarded the most, and we make sure that's like at the forefront of what we're building. That's like the most important thing for partners as well. Like for the big AI labs, they want to see that the data we have is something coming from the user, and it's also raw and it's theirs. That's like the most important, like fundamental basis of the company, and that's what the systems we have to improve every day.
When those labs are coming to you, though, the actual like the labeling and the categorization of those data sets right now, from what I can see, it's okay. What kind of content is this? But like if I upload an image of an apple, there's so much like that might seem very simple to the average listener
Correct.
here, but it's like, okay, where like what the metadata around this apple, all that like little
So you'd be
information, like
surprised. Like the big AI companies already know that an apple's an apple. Like
right,
so for the longest time, Scale AI, for example, was like doing this operation where, and they just lost all their clients because they got acquired by Meta. But they were doing this operation where they had a ton of VAs out in like Kenya and other like foreign countries, and they would go through and draw boxes around objects and say like, this is an apple, this is a ball, this is a
right,
tree, right? What happened is that like is basically obsolete even currently, right? Like OpenAI knows when these objects are these objects, right?
yeah,
They more want like the contextual data behind an image. They want like the stuff that like the eye can't see, right? And that's something that only the user has access to, right? It's like the best example I like to give is, let's say you have a video of a girl bouncing a ball, right? And you send that video to a Kenyan VA that's going to label it. The Kenyan VA is going to say, this is a girl bouncing a ball. That's all they're going to say. But if the father is the one who's taken the video and the father is the one uploading the content, and we tell the father, hey, like write a small description about like what happened in this video, the father can say like, hey, the girl was this in this mood during the day. It was this time of day. The reason why she did this in this portion of the video is because of this. Like there's so much contextual data behind that. And that's like the real valuable part for these large AI labs. Like they really want to see that. So we nurture to that. We nurture to that multimodal contextual data. And the rest of it is just building a really good classifier for these companies to then search the data. Like our enterprise portal is almost up and running, where an enterprise will be able to type in, I want a speech and debate video with really high crowd density and a ton of a ton of action happening in it, right? And we'll find every single piece of content in our current library that matches that and say like, hey, we have 4,000 videos and images that match that query. Here's like a way you can license it directly from users on the platform, right? So like, it's just about building the classifier and then the multimodal contextual data system. And that's like the most valuable thing for these AI companies. That's like what we have to get really, really good at.
right. The hardest part there is the actual context from that original user. That is, I would assume, is your
Correct.
biggest friction point of, okay, yes, you can go and select a bunch of images, but you actually need to take some time, which is always valuable. And we need you to
Yeah.
give high quality context to these
Yeah.
images and videos.
We
and
incentivize that with pricing, obviously. Like we paid this guy for like 6 gigabytes of like CSGO footage. We paid this guy, I think it was like, what was it, $420? It was like a pretty viral tweet that went out. But we've paid users out like thousands of dollars for data sets, for example, that they're just uploading off their camera rolls or their computers. And I think the labeling system is only going to improve from here, obviously, and we're going to make it better and better. But like the more important thing we're focused on is the classifier, because right now, even the raw data is really valuable for these companies as long as they have some sort of direction on what's in that data set, because they like to do the data labeling themselves sometimes, right? The contextual multimodal data, that's what like 50x is the price of the data, but it's not necessarily like the crux or like the most important thing that makes this data sellable. It's sellable the way it is, as long as you have a good classifier. That's it.
makes sense. What do you think for the average like person that you're gonna meet and onboard onto the platform?
Yeah.
What do you think is going to be the most like valuable piece of content or like information that they have that they can upload to Cled?
I mean, there's some cool ones. Dash cam footage is really cool. Dash cam footage is like used in almost every single data set that anyone needs publicly. So like Tesla would buy that, Waymo would buy that, any defense company would buy that. That's like a really like nurtured data set. Another one is like is conversational data, so like speech patterns, people talking in different languages. That's good for 11 Labs and like several other speech companies, as well as like all the like really big companies like Sora and Google Veo. Any of these companies building these large video models, and then I guess there are some like really funny ones that are also surprisingly valuable. Like we have one for like feet and finger data. Like feet and finger data, surprisingly really valuable. And the reason why is because go on ChatGPT right now and try typing in generate me a picture of a human. Right.
Right.
What usually happens is that the fingers and feet are like literally distorted and like don't look human. Right. So they need more and more of those images and videos, then train their model and like get that better. Right. So like that's actually surprisingly valuable data. And there's always these like specific moments in time where there's data sets that like become super increasingly valuable just out of like a problem that happens. Like a really good example is that the Google Pixel, the longest time, was identifying African American people as gorillas. Like there was a public issue that happened here, and it was for a week straight. and they got a ton of backlash for it. So for that week, they spent several tens of millions of dollars to go
they were spending everything they could
to find images of like African American people so that they could correct like this egregious mistake, right? So there's these moments where like Apple, for example, gets sued for not using training data properly, and will just spend $1 billion out of a whim to go buy a specific data set they need, right? It's like that happens a lot more often than people think, and it's our goal to show that to the user and make them aware of it. Like there's like someone that needs this and they're spending a stupid amount of money on it. And instead of your data getting stolen by them, now you can just make money off of it. And the companies are incentivized in every way to do that too.
I think that we're like moving into a weird part of, history and human, like to where like all the things that you have been getting extracted from yourself,
correct,
whether it's online or whatever, you're actually going to get rewarded for it. And we haven't seen anybody really get it correct. I mean, we've seen a ton of different crypto companies try to like pull it off, but it's not a simple job to broker that. You have ventured into crypto, which is interesting. We could dive into that, and I guess the whole way that integrates back into Kled. But internet capital markets are interesting. It's polarizing. Some believe it's great. Some don't believe in it. You obviously have approved it, gone with Launchcoin, and Believe App, and launched your own token. You guys are one of the largest to come out of the original class of people that have launched with Believe App. Where do you have it currently work into the product? What do you think the future of having a token alongside Kled AI? What do you think that does for you as a company?
I mean, our big reason why we did it is because it solves the cold start problem almost immediately. Like, again, I'm really familiar with marketplaces, and I built a company that the cold start problem was a 3-year process to go out and solve, right? So when I ventured into the data licensing space and we were doing these like manual brokerships, and then I was like, we should get into the consumer wing of this. It's not an easy cold start problem to solve. And the fact that you can launch a token and then have thousands of users that are also incentivized by price going up to then make sure your product's doing well and give really good feedback and get your first 1,000 users, which is basically like your way from going to 0 to 1, because those 1,000 people are going to, I mean, I've shipped out like literally 100 product updates in the last 2 weeks, quite literally. And it's all come from, some internal stuff, but majority of it is like user feedback saying like, hey, these are issues. And that's like actually like one of the most valuable things early stage for a startup. And launching a token is your fastest way to 0 to 1. I'll like stand on business on that basically. I also said this publicly. It's also the fastest way to go from 1 to 0, which usually is never possible. But you can kill I
was about to say, this is not like everybody's like, I'm going to just go launch a token. Like it also could be the depth of your company.
It really has. It depends on like how good the founder is to navigate chaos. It's like chaos control. Like if you can control chaos like very well and navigate the chaos very well, you're good. But there's like a lot of mental tax that comes with launching publicly and having like a basic like IPO kind of style for a company at the early stage. Like it comes with a lot. So a lot of founders can't handle it. And I think the best ones can will just like survive the test of time here. And the way the token implements into it is that the flywheel is coming out on batch 4 to 5, most likely. But it's going to be so that we pay out users in Kled and we buy it off the open market, and a portion that always contributes to LP rewards, which we always lock away and burn basically. So there's always tokens being taken out of supply in scaling with revenue and more users coming on board. So the actual win condition for token holder value going up here is my ability to go viral every single day and just continuously bring on more users, and also make sure the viral content is like good viral content. Like it's something that people like to see. The good thing about Kled is that it's like a viral concept naturally. Like there's going to be college kids that are going to be like partying the day before and like taking pictures and videos at their frat party and then uploading that the next day and then paying off their drinks that they bought the day before. Right. So there's like a lot of cool things that you can do here. And I think the testament to that is like we did 14 million, close to 14 million now impressions on Twitter in 3 weeks. And majority of it was only product updates. Usually like if you shill product all day long, your viewership goes down and down and down. I think there's a very handful select count of companies, like Cluely, for example, is one of them. And even they've like strayed away from it. I've only posted product updates. Like the 99% of my content is just product updates. And every post gets like tens of thousands of views and a ton of likes. And
why do you think that is? Like, what do you think the special sauce on that is for you?
Yeah, I think we started off early on being very loud, and that caused a lot of people to either hate us or love us. But because we had a ton of attention on the product, if you really are a serious builder and you ship product all day long, you turn haters into lovers really fast. So we've built this community of just people that like the second I post will instantly like, repost, and comment on that thing. And it's built like this growth engine where we have this like cult-like following, which is I think something really important for all founders to build. And it's helped out a lot. I think another thing is like we're pretty transparent about our updates. Like I don't think people. I think I'm the only ICM token right now that has posted updates every single day on product and made our change logs very public and made like the reasonings behind things very public and like where we're going. And I think that's like people have respected that a lot, which has gotten us a lot of really good attention. And like I haven't gotten any FUD in the last 4 or 5 days right now, which is crazy after only posting
a very nice 4 or 5 days.
A very nice 4 or 5 days, dude. And it was to the point where like Agent Chud, who's like one of the biggest fudders on the internet, basically yesterday tried to FUD us. I ratioed him. He got like 30 likes. It's because I had a hard drive from one of our partners, and he was like, "Oh, I do have consumer data over here," and I gave a reason, and he was like, "Oh, my bad." So like you turn haters into lovers really fast as long as you just like ship good product. And I think we're like the best example of that, honestly.
It feels like we're heading into a new era of startups where, and there's dozens of you, but I think the most public and the ones that are relevant to this is what Roy is doing. It is hyper volume on short content, being hyper transparent, but also this like polarizing like take on like you either love me or you hate me, but in the end, like I'm gonna win. And I think people are starting to like they want that's what they want. They want it to be entertaining.
Yeah. I actually think Roy's take on this is the same as mine, where like he doesn't want people to hate him. Like I don't think he actually wants that. I think like that is like the way you cope into it.
Sure.
But the reality is like he just wants the attention because he's really confident in his ability to turn the haters into lovers. He's done that time and time, and so have I, right? Like it's the same exact thing. Where like I don't actually want people to fucking hate me.
Right.
Like, I love my product and I want people to like me. I think that's the reason why I keep posting every day. Like I want people to like really believe in this thing as much as I do, right? And I think the good part about that is that if you have like if you're humble enough and you have like a high enough ego simultaneously and you really believe in your product, you'll turn those haters into lovers. I think that's like the common ground there. Yeah.
The product has to work though. I've done this. I've run.
Yes.
I did the same playbook with the soccer team, and at the end of the day, soccer still has to be good, or like all you're doing is putting out content. Like
exactly. Yeah. You have to actually build something good. Like if you're not doing that, but I think the founders that go into it were like, I'm just going to build something great. And then this comes second. Like product always comes first with me. I think the second part of it is like, hey, like we need to get users because that's the win condition. But product should always come first for any of these founders. It should never be distribution first. That's never actually the play.
Right. Man, I think that's a good one. I think some people have gotten that reverse, and it does not end well at the end of the day.
Yeah.
For you expanding, and obviously marketing is how you are your growth strategy here, but in an expansion, like what is your actual pitch to somebody who is a college student who wants some extra money for like drinking? Like is it just make some quick money uploading images?
Yeah, that's literally it. So like your college kid is not going to be in our 1% of users. What I mean by that is that your college kid is not going to go out and perform these like data hits. So when OpenAI comes to us and says like, hey, we need 700 hours of dash cam footage of people driving around in the winter, there's going to be like, maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe college kids actually go and fulfill these things. But I think the majority of college kids are going to be like, hey, I'm broke as fuck. I need a quick buck. Like I have a ton of images and videos on my camera roll and it keeps going and stacking up. And I also like do a bunch of homework because that's basically my job, doing homework. And I can upload my homework and images and videos like frictionlessly to this platform and just get paid for it. It's free money. There's nothing wrong with it as long as they're storing it and securely storing it and making it transparent. And even that, I don't think they even care about the securely storing and transparency. They just care about like free money. Essentially, it's the best marketplace. I was talking to Forerunner VC about this. They said the same thing. Like the best marketplaces are the ones that turn something that people don't think is valuable into something valuable, right? That is like what creates like these $1 billion marketplace companies. And that's exactly what this is. Like college kids are going to be like, wow, this was never valuable. Like I would never imagine people would pay money for this. And now I'm making a couple $100 by just uploading shit on this app, right? And then the 1% of users, the people that are like actually making their entire life's living, which I think is going to happen off of Kled, are going to be the ones that like will go out and film specific content and like produce the best data and will like go out of their way to make sure they're labeling data really, really deeply. And it's our job to build like the guardrails and the framework for that to actually happen.
It's I don't know why in the back of my head it like almost clicked that this is, without having an audience, you're almost incentivizing like a parallel version of content creators to like Twitch or something like that, but they're not trying to get viewers or streams. They're just trying to provide like
good content.
Good content.
Dude, this was like literally what I was doing. So I like before we were doing the consumer side of this, I was going to like people manually and partnering with them. I actually did not care about the sub count of the creator I was trying to get content from. I was literally like, hey, if there's some guy that's like in nature all day long and he's just vlogging himself and he has like 4 viewers, that's just as valuable as some guy with 50 million viewers that's like sitting there like editing content. Like I actually prefer the raw one. Like I prefer the raw content of this guy just being a natural human being versus the guy that's like obviously performing and making sure that he's putting a performative act to make things good. That's why live streams are really valuable. Like these Twitch streamers are actually like incredibly valuable because that's their day-to-day. It's not edited or edited content. And even the partners that we have that have edited content, I always ask for the raw content, like the raw footage that they have. It's a lot more valuable. So it will produce like a new class of content creators almost that are like not to viewers, but just to build good content. That's it.
Dude, I love it. I love this. This is, I mean, there's a lot of things that have come out of the ICM class, right? And I think we were seeing people like you who are building real products with real users, with real exit strategies that could be baked in. I think for you, and you know, bringing up exit side, it sounds like your long-term goal here is not to just play a short game. It is literally to be like the go-to data marketplace.
I think physical assets are conquered by Amazon, eBay, whatever.
Yeah.
There's not a single company in the world that's ever done intellectual property. And IP is actually a bigger industry than anything in the physical realm. Like IP is multi-trillion-dollar. Physical is like half the size, if not even less than that. So like selling physical assets is worth less than the total size of the IP marketplace.
Yeah.
But the problem is IP is literally the most impossible marketplaces to build.
It's the most fragmented.
These are the most moonshot, literally, like you have to be the GOAT of marketplace making, which I have to prove myself out as like the GOAT of marketplace building to make any of these sectors. If I go into patents tomorrow, it's just as hard as music, right? Like you literally have to go fragmently get these collaborators and entrepreneurs that have all these patents, and you have to do that all manually. Like I have to manually go out and build all these marketplaces. Data is actually one of the easier ones to build out, frankly. Like data is like beyond the cold start problem. As long as you're like first mover, that's our biggest advantage here. And the fact that I already have these pre-existing relationships and like a good foundation, like that is our biggest advantage. But with all these other IP marketplaces, they're possible. But if you build it out, you have the biggest company in the world. It's like without a doubt, it sets the framework up for every future innovation. Like imagine the fact that like every invention ever made right now requires licensing, and it takes months and months and months to get licenses that you need to build the inventions that you want. And if I make it frictionless, so you can go online, search an invention, search a piece of music, search a piece of data, and license it in one click, you speed up the innovation of the entire world by like 50x. I don't think it's 50x. I think it's like 1000x. I think it's like 2000x, right? Like I don't actually know the effects of it, but I just know it'll have like a ripple effect where like humanity's progress is just gonna, it will skyrocket. Like like that's like the eventual goal. But it does take like the GOAT of marketplace building to make any of these. And no one has tried this because it's impossible. Like there's no data marketplace for consumers. There's no music licensing marketplace that exists beyond copyright free music. No one's built like an actual two-sided music licensing marketplace. There's no patent licensing marketplace. They don't exist. And no one's built one altogether. No one's done it.
Yeah, I was gonna say on the music side, I don't even know one where users can upload freely and be paid out licensing wise. If you look at, I mean, there's thousands of these places where you can go and buy royalty music or buy licensing. I think that's a good first step of like, here's what IP licensing looks like in a less frictional world. But that's just music. Like, what about patents? What about voice? What about like it gets very, very exponentially larger the
Correct.
more you actually realize how much IP is out there. What is the hardest piece of IP that you think
It's
you're gonna
music.
try?
It,
It's
it was
music.
music. It wasn't even close. I will stand on my life on. I can build this for the next 20 years. I will never have a harder time than me at 18 years old going messaging fucking 50,000 artists a day and like begging them to come on this marketplace and like signing contracts all day long with record labels and convincing them of something when the music industry like never moves, is like super stagnant, and VCs don't even believe in it, so they won't even fund your fucking company. Like I built that company from the ground up with bare bones, nothing in my pocket, like literally $100K check from an angel to build like what is supposed to be a multi-million-dollar project just to even develop and get out there. Music's really hard because you have no belief from anyone from both sides. You won't, unless you're like a two-time repeat founder, and two-time repeat founders don't build music licensing companies, let alone music companies in general. So it's impossible. But then I think the ranking after is like, I think patents, data, image, and video right after. I think that's like and I'm not even considering all the other subgenres that are probably existing.
Yeah. No. It's incredible. Your founder journey and experience is nowhere. You're what, 21, 22?
I'm 21 now. Yeah.
21. For Kled, you've done one raise, a seed round?
We did, like, it was a rolling raise, so we raised a ton like over time. Obviously, it's for Nitrility and Kled are the same company. Everything's under Nitrility.
Okay.
It's gonna be like that for the rest of my life. So investors that are investing in the company are also benefiting from both ends of this. But we did like a rolling raise. We've raised collectively a little over 2 mil. And yeah.
Walk me through the raise process for you, because I think it's interesting for founders to talk about something that gets skipped over, except for, hey, we raised 2 million announcement, and then people move on.
Dude, it wasn't easy, man. Like, look, there's posts on my Twitter if you scroll all the way down. Like, I was doing crazy shit to get in front of people. Like, I was like sneaking into arenas of like, I like had to sneak into like Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. Like, I had to sneak into like fucking F1. Like, there was like, I was like sneaking into events to meet people. I was like DMing people every day, all day long. I was pitching people all day long. I had like this huge run in San Francisco where I was going VC to VC and talking to them. I just couldn't find the right partner. Like, I couldn't find the person that like wanted to come in and just like take the whole thing. And then K5 Global, this investment firm that's like really deep rooted into music and entertainment, was like, Avi, we're going to back you. They backed us, and it kind of led to this cascade effect where we had like a lot of angels come in. I raised from content creators. I raised from like individuals. Like it was a grueling process that took 3 years. Like, I was not blessed with having this like Stanford dropout kid background, no matter how good I was. And I wasn't public either. Like, I wasn't building in public. So I didn't have the luxury of like having people believe in me from a public standpoint. So that's where it was. And now it's a different situation. Now that things are going really well, like you'll have like VCs reaching back to us and trying to come on in. And like
sending you AI generated emails.
Correct. Yes. literally like zero effort, terrible partners that are, anyways, it is what it is. They're idiots out there that think that you rejecting me and then coming back with an offer is like acceptable. Like, I think that's completely unacceptable. I think there's very little conviction in Silicon Valley nowadays. I think there's like not many partners that will just say, fuck it, I'm in, and like really believe in people. Like, belief is like at an all-time low. And I think your actual like normal person has more belief than your average Silicon Valley investor, which is not acceptable. Like, that is not okay. The whole point of Silicon Valley was to make moonshot bets on people. And no matter how many firms preach that they actually do that, they don't do that. They don't ever do that. And that's not just me being salty. There's companies that have like 200x'd and then they'll just come running back. Like, majority of these deals that happen are not at the stage where like they're believing before things go well. They're believing after they go well, which is unacceptable for an industry that is preaching that like you're living the American dream and you can do anything and you don't have to work for it. You just have to be like someone people believe in to get these like big investments. It's not true. It's just a lie. It's like a fabricated lie this entire industry is telling you.
The most ironic thing that I'll hear, because I play both sides of it, right? Like, I've gone through raises, I've angel invest, but it's interesting how much over at least the last 2 years it feels like it's shifted to, well, let us know when you have some traction. Like, it feels like years ago it used to be like, all right, like, we love the idea, we love you, let's just do it, like, we'll see where this goes. But it definitely, I don't know if mature is not the right word. It feels like the sophistication of like what is expected in the industry has just gone up and up.
Potentially, I think people are just like naysayers. Like they just, I don't know, man. Like they just like they, no matter how clear cut something is in front of them, if it doesn't fit into this like sheep narrative that other VCs are telling them is like the hottest industry, they're not going to play into it. Like there's like founder bets don't exist anymore. Like these people don't make these bets until they see a founder is like hot shit. Like they're not finding these like gems of talent. And by the way, I want to make it very clear, going to fucking Stanford and looking for dropouts and then saying like, oh, you dropped out of college and you want to build something in AI, I'm going to give you $10 million is not okay. That is not acceptable. You should not have a random Ivy League kid that has no merit getting that much amount of money just because they're in an industry that you like and they're fitting this like Stanford dropout fucking criteria. It shouldn't be merit based, but it should be like a holistic approach to finding these like moonshot founders that you're betting on. And it's not holistic right now. It's very stereotypical. It's very biased. And I think that's not okay for an industry that's supposed to be supporting the next generation of talent, no matter who they are. They should be scouting these fucking founders like basketball teams scout their talent. They should be scouting them like that. They should not be going around and finding these like putting these people into buckets and saying like these are okay and just investing into those. Like it's not okay like that.
The counter is though, like if you know Lower Merion produces the best basketball players,
yeah,
and statistically over, that's the best place to go recruit, would you not just go stand outside with a checkbook and say, hey, you have an idea, you want to play basketball, we'll take care of it?
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily true. I think like the best teams are the ones that sit down and fly across the country and like go scout out the talent and like go like to the streets and find like kids that are on the streets playing that are like built different that no one's ever seen before. That is like what a VC's job should be. A VC should not be sitting in a comfy office and like waiting for people to come to them and picking the ones that fit buckets. They should be going out and finding the best talent in the world. That's how innovation happens. Like you don't find innovation in a comfy home. It doesn't happen. You find innovation when a founder has no other option other than succeed. And that does not happen from a VC getting pitched all day long. It happens from a VC going out and finding the person that does that.
Absolute. I love it. Clip that. Jesus.
I don't know. That's just like, my take on it.
I mean, that's there's very. I don't think. I've talked to a ton of people who've raised. And nobody's actually like brought up that side of raising can be, disadvantageous if you don't have a certain title or a badge next to your name.
People say like these college dropouts, no matter where you drop out from, like it doesn't matter. It really does. Like there's the Stanford kids will tell you like it's unnatural the advantage that these people have. Like I don't hate Ivy League kids. Like I think it's good, but like I think there should be merit other than just like your title. Like I think like applying to these stupid accelerators and programs and getting these like fancy titles, they don't mean anything. Like boil it all down to hustle. Like it should all just be boiled down to hustle. It's grit and hustle. That is what builds billion-dollar companies. It is always what's built billion-dollar companies. The formula that every single person is publicly aware of building billion-dollar companies. So yeah, I mean, the fact that is not the most sought after talent and the fact that people can't see that blindly is not okay in the Silicon Valley space.
I think we need more people who are willing to eat shit. That's ultimately.
Seriously.
Are you one of those people that, I mean, you talked about 3 years to raise, who just does not get affected by like the no's, by like the low, because there's a lot of lows in
it's supposed to affect you. It's literally supposed to hit you so hard every single time. It's supposed to hit you so hard every single time that it's not like you become numb to it. It's just becomes like you just work harder every time you got to know. Like I've gone to Silicon like meetings and I've had people pull out that VC, by the way, that sent us that stupid email, pulled out on a term sheet. That's like, that was their whole thing. They pulled out on a term sheet they gave us. I was left with nothing. I was like at like an all-time low, and like all I could do is literally just work harder. Like that's happened so many times in my life, like over and over again. And I think like I don't think it's supposed to like just not affect you. I think like you're supposed to get really emotional and it's supposed to like hit you super hard, but your instinctual reaction should just be work harder. I think the founders that like actually are really good are the ones that are affected really deeply by every single down thing. Like I like wanted to kill myself from all that FUD for the last 3 weeks. Like that shit sucked. Like I literally thought my entire career was ruined. But but I'm not going to sit down and curl up in a ball. Like the only other option is sit down and like build the best product. Like that is like how you fix the problem. So I just did that. Like I literally sat down and spent fucking weeks and weeks and weeks building the best product I could possibly build. And now the problem's solved. So you just make progress every single day and you work your way there. And it's supposed to affect you. Like it's supposed to hit you like a truck.
Man, you're putting on a masterclass for anybody who's a founder who's looking to get into an idea. I cannot emphasize how like this is just good to hear. Because it's not the like rainbows and roses that I think a lot of people think it is.
It really isn't. I hate that like the
and then add on crypto on top of it with holders, and now they have financial incentive, and they like you really are building in a glass box, and everybody is throwing rocks.
Literally, it's either everyone's throwing rocks or like praising you. It's one or the other. I think I'm in this moment right now where it's praise, but like tomorrow it could be not, right? Like you never know, so you're always on edge, and the only thing that grounds you is building good product.
What has been the highlight? I mean, we've talked about a lot of the grind and the grit. Like what's been the highlight so far in this process of building?
Again, like the bad stuff really hits you hard, but like the good stuff really hits you hard too. So like there's moments where like I'm literally in my fucking room just like cheering, like literally just like screaming at the top of my lungs because I either see like product succeeding, like dude, OpenAI reached out to me. Like I did not reach out to them. Like they said like, hey, it was like one of the team members that works at Startup and AI at OpenAI. He's like followed by Sam. I was like, what the fuck? Like no shot. Like I've talked to OpenAI people before. Like I've talked to Sam before. Like I've talked to other people, but like they don't reach out to you. They reach out to me, and I was like, wow, like all this FUD is happening right now, but like this is like a shining moment right now where like I have the opportunity here. Like I can do something about this, and build like a real company. It's like there's these moments where like you'll just like fucking scream at the top of your lungs, like where things all go right. But it's more about like stacking luck. Like it's like I think the way you stack luck is you have as much bad stuff happen to you as possible, and it's almost like you're filling this glass of water, and when like the water's the very top, like you'll have like that crazy lucky moment that you had no control over but that just like went in your way. And I think it's all about just like doing as much things as possible so that you can stack that luck and not benefiting in the short term, because that's what removes water from the cup. I think it's just like keep grinding, stack the water as high as possible, and then you'll have these like crazy lucky moments that happen. It's happened like my entire life, basically, like artists reaching out out of nowhere, like random events getting scheduled and meetings getting scheduled, like people just saying yes when they had no right to say yes after like 10 seconds of meeting me. Like there's these moments that like things will go stupidly well for no reason, and it's a result of things going very bad for a very long time over and over again.
But it's you have to be doing things. You can't, like it's the volume of that. Like you're those touch points.
It's just volume. It's nothing but volume. I think like more action and like pure intent equals really bad things happening all the time. And then like good things that far outweigh all of the bad happening at once in one moment, and then just repeating that cycle over and over again.
Again, could not agree more. I want to circle back real quick because we kind of went over the token a bit, but I think for a lot of my audience who's listening and people who are trying to understand how outside of just uploading images and content, how they can get exposure to what you're building. Walk me through for Kled right now, for somebody who's not uploading images, what is the use case of holding Kled? And then also like, how are you fighting off that sell pressure of if you're paying out in Kled and somebody is again trying to pay for beer drinks on the weekend, they're immediately going and jumping. That's sell pressure.
100%. Well, we have like I made a post about this. Like Hype was like one of the best like performing tokens, like for a reason, right? Like they went out of their way to ensure token more value goes up, right? Like we're doing that. That's what the flywheel is all about. Like any time there is someone selling tokens, more tokens are taken out of circulation. We've already taken out 8% out of circulation. Like we've locked it all away. It's not going anywhere. And we publicly like disclose all this too. So holding the token, I don't know what I can say publicly and can't here, but holding the token like naturally means that you're investing in a company that is intentionally making sure token holder value goes up. That's the best I can say there. It's like we're going out of our way to make sure this flywheel very clearly and publicly takes out tokens out of circulation and ensures that value is naturally going up. That's the whole point. So sell pressure is combated with constant lockups and constant, like, basically every time you sell, a portion that goes into LP rewards and a portion of that always gets locked up, basically. And it's not a small portion either. It's like 15%. So we have like more and more taken out of circulation every single day once that flywheel kicks in. And we already have taken a good amount out. Yeah.
And you can't talk more on that lockup mechanic, can you?
Well, the lockup's just public. Yes. Like all we have to do is automate it. Like the whole thing is like anytime there is a open market purchase from our end to go pay out users in Kled, we have a portion that's given in LP rewards that's automated by the smart contract Believe has. And then we automate that even further by taking 15% of those LP rewards and then locking them up through Streamflow publicly. That's basically how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. I can see how this gets moving in the right direction with momentum as more volume comes. And
yeah, it's literally, I sign up more users. That's the win condition across the board for every single person that's involved with a company, from a venture capitalist who has no tokens that just has equity to a consumer that has $20 in the token. Like that is across the board the win condition.
You also have to be signing up those AI developers in these labs,
which is also the win condition, because if you have more users, like the whole point is OpenAI will never say no to 100,000 people that will do their bidding at any point in time. That's the whole point. Like if OpenAI is like, there's 100,000 people that now will just like give me data that I specifically want whenever I want. And I can do this anonymously at some point as well. And they're like, this company just letting me make this happen. They're just going to bankroll you for life, right? So like that, like across the board, the win condition to get higher contracts, get higher payouts for users, get token holder value up, get equity holder value up, is sign up more users. And I think that beyond any other company in the world, that's actually our highest win condition. So me going viral and then me posting, hey, we just signed up like fucking 800 people because of that one tweet, is like the highest signal for people to know that the company is doing well, frankly.
Are you familiar with what WAP's doing with their content bounty program?
I am not. I know the team, but like I don't know. So
yeah, no, it feels. I'm getting spooky. Like I can see where this goes with, if you have a company that wants people to come and they're doing it for clipping. They're like, hey, if you post content, you get so many views, we pay you out. OpenAI can come and be like, hey, we're trying to like win in the world of elephants. If you have content related to elephants and it falls within these barriers, upload it. We're paying out against that. And they can build that data set through an army anonymously in, a week, which previously they'd have to go out and buy.
It'd be impossible.
Or impossible.
It's one of the, it's either you literally have to go out to enterprise. Like what enterprise has fucking elephant data other than a nature company? The problem is like you go to like these enterprises, let's say you're looking for educational content and you go to the New York Times and you get all of their library. They only have like 10 articles. I'm obviously underestimating it. They have a good amount. they have a small portion, I'll say that, small portion of their actual catalog that's like educational content. And then you have to go classify which ones fit that query. And then you have to repeat that cycle all over again. And these enterprise cycles are long. Like they take a long time to get closed. So there are these like problems where it's much better to have just a community of people that will give you the specific thing that you need. And 100,000 fucking people is a lot of people. Like, these companies already got their, like, ChatGPT was built on data from the people. Like that's who populated the internet in the first place. I find it very symbolic that it's going to be built even further by the same people. And now people are actually getting paid for it properly instead of it getting stolen. I think that's something that every company wants across the board. It makes their lives easier. It makes people's lives easier. It makes people happy too. And that's what companies want. Companies don't want to be hated. That's not what they want at all.
Yeah. I mean, they're struggling with that so much, or have been. But I really, for some reason, with that, you saying that with like the WAP, it clicked really hard, and I can see. I love this. I love the product. I love you as a founder. It's.
I appreciate it.
Okay, not to be like glazing, but it's good. It's great. Like, and it's a very hard area to navigate again because it's very unsexy. It's incredibly hard with the IP side of things. The whole area of like ethics and sensitivity of data, etc., is
Yeah.
I'm sure
We have
next year-
like really strong legal. I can't take all the credit there. Like Latham and Watkins represents us, and like Mission Law, as well as like our startup lawyers. So we like are compliant across the board, from ISSO guidelines to GDPR stuff. Like that's our number one priority here. Like we make sure we're compliant and safe. Like that's the only way partners will trust us, anyways.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be your big like spooky ghost
Yeah.
on the closet, I assume. Or I mean,
Correct.
there's the US AI bill and the EU. Who knows what they're gonna do? Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's like little things like that that do keep you up at night, where you're like, fuck, like something could come in where like user data has to be done a certain way, or I can't sell it in a certain way.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I'm curious for anybody who's listening right now and not convinced in you what your pitch to them would be at this point.
I don't know if I literally no, I have no idea. I mean, look, it's a simple app. If I mean, anyone that's not convinced, I think, like probably has a like is boiling down to two questions: is like, are like companies actually going to pay for this data? Like, why would they pay for it? That's one. And then two is like, is it compliant? We're compliant right now. I can say that. And then the answer to the first question is, they're already paying for it. We've paid out over 120 grand to users so far. And that number is only going to keep going up. Our contracts keep getting bigger and bigger. And it's all just about our ability to classify the data. That's it. So like, if we can classify data, raw data is actually the most valuable data in the world. And right now is like the perfect time to enter this industry, because it's a race, sure. And there's a lot of people trying to do something like this. We're the first ones, and I expect there to be a ton more that have, I mean, I've seen two that have already tried and they both died in a week, which is cool. But there's, yeah, it just boils down to our ability to classify data. That's it. Like, as long as we can build that enterprise side, we're in a really good place. Yeah.
Love it. Guys, Avi Patel, founder of Kled. If you haven't already, make sure you're giving him a follow. Go check out the token as well. It's out in liquid. Huge fan of what you're doing. Looking forward to watching what you build and how it grows over time.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate you coming on and sharing more about it.
Dude, of course. Enjoy the pod with Roy. Keep killing it. And then you have Bobby on this week too, right?
I do tomorrow. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'll tune into that.
It was I mean, just randomly happened to happen all at the same time. But I think you guys all in some way play in the same little arena of, and have kind of interesting playbooks that are similar to each other as well.
Yeah. I think all good founders have overlap. I think that's like across the board. Like there's like things that are objectively correct that the good founders like come to the same conclusion without ever talking to anyone. And those are probably that's probably the overlap. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
But man, again, thank you so much. And we'll keep an eye on what you're doing, and hopefully we'll have you back on as things progress.
Dude, appreciate it. Awesome. All right. Talk soon, man.
See you, brother. Peace.